Hello, everybody. This is Phil Schneider. It is February something, 23rd, 22nd in 2023. Listen, bunk. This little Why Do We Say That segment is with Bunk. I was reading a book from written in the 1940s, and he was saying, well, that's just a lot of bunk. It obviously goes back further than that. Bunk. Bunk means something that's outrageous or not outrageous, not true, not right, usually a lot of hot air. Well, it comes from, but let's go all the way back. In about 1820, the petition for the residents of Missouri was to be brought into the Union as a state. Okay, now, but then there was this huge question going on. You had the states where slavery was allowed, and you had the states that were free states that did not allow slavery. So which one would come? How would it come into to the union? Which one would it be? Big, huge debate. A lot of animosity. Of course, the debate's been going on for quite a while uh, a- as to what's going to go. Who's going to have the most votes to vote on things? Um, so that was strong feelings. And I mean, you talk about they're pretty bad now. They were bad then. There was some horrible anger, bitterness, fighting going on. Okay, but finally they reached this big compromise called the Missouri Compromise. If you remember your seventh grade civics, where's my coffee? Oh, okay, whatever. So, um, and they finally hammered out this compromise. Neither side was happy that would be brought in. I'm not going to go into the Missouri Compromise, but uh, it. This is where the word bunk and to debunk something means to expose it as for what it is, false, not correct. So I'm looking at my picture here. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this. So let's talk about bunk. No, let's talk about this. This video is brought to you by me. I'm sponsoring this. I make wire name necklaces now. I mean, I've been making them for years, but I decided to sell them. Like little name necklaces for girls, Linda, your daughter, your girlfriend, your granddaughter, nieces, all these young ladies might have a nice silver necklace. I use good wire. I use this chain that's non-allergenic, and it's you give me the name and the address, and I mail it to you, and it's all for $15. That's it. That's my sponsorship here. In fact, you can get 3 for $30. What can I say? You just tell me what you want. I'll mail it to you. Okay, let's get back to bunk. Well, they finally hammered out this agreement. Like I said, nobody was really happy, but it was an agreement to finally get off this issue and vote. They started to vote, and then somebody said, "I want to speak." Who was it? Um, Representative Felix Walker from North Carolina rose up, and he says, "I wish to speak." I said, "Okay, yeah, go ahead." Of course, I don't think you can refuse him. So he rose and he started talking. And everybody in I guess it was the Senate, maybe the representative, the House, and they were waiting for him to say something about this bill. He said nothing at all about what the vote was on. He talked about anything and everything, and he talked about this and he talked about that, and finally they tried to shut him up several times, and he paid no attention to it, just kept talking. Um, eh, it didn't have any bearing on anything. So finally, they got him to stop. And finally, he says, "Okay, I prepared this, and I'm going to read it." So he read it. Now, when they asked him afterwards, why did he do that? He said, "I didn't make that Senate the thing about the vote. I'm not interested in that. I made that speech for the people in Bunkum County because I represent Bunkum County, North Carolina. Bunkum, I don't know how you spell it, but and that's I made it for them, not for you guys. I made it for them so they'll know they expect me to do something, and I did it. So now I've made my speech, and they'll know that I did something for them. So this was like he was talking for Bunkum. That was the idea. And afterwards, anytime political claptrap, all that crazy came up, they started thinking of Bunkum. It's just a lot of Bunkum. So now we spell it Bunkum, B-U. BUNKCUM, I think. Well, I'm not gonna I don't even I'm sure how to spell it. Bunk, B-U-N-K. So anytime people started using it, they started using it in a political sense, and then it sort of the newspapers used it in a more sense of he's just spreading bunk, and that's where the word bunk come from. And of course, debunk means to expose something as being worthless and not true. I've got all these wonderful things that we used to believe. Like for example, people believe the Earth is round. Not really. Look out. I mean, it's obviously flat. This is Phil Chenevert, and I'm talking about bunk, bunk. Yes, and I'm talking about my necklaces. My email is in somewhere in there. Thanks a lot, folks. Uh, oh, I've already sold two. Yes, yes. That's only take me a month. Thank you. Bye bye.